Hello everyone, welcome back. Almost 2 years ago to this day, a blazing fire was started deliberately at the Chateau de Serquigny, which, I don't know if you remember from a previous episode, I mentioned had a link to our house. Probably the same guy who got both of these chateaux built, but I'm still waiting for more information on that because I'm not absolutely certain of this. In any case, it was the same owner, a guy called Piku. And I have asked someone who did a bit of research on this to dig deeper and tell me what he found out. Anyway, he said he'd get back to me in due course. This episode is going to look a little bit like an urbex video, except that it isn't. This is footage that my mother made for me. I asked her explicitly to go there after the fire because a lovely association has been created in the village or the town of Serquigny to safeguard this chateau, which before the fire had been in the hands of approximately 40 different owners, which is usually a bad idea because although it's the intention of this sale was to make any restoration work cheaper for each individual party because everything was divided into about 40. That's how I imagine it. The downside is that you never get 40 people to agree on anything, and therefore not an awful lot was done the last few years. So it was as good as abandoned, only you couldn't go and have a look at the chateau, except of course the good urbex colleagues who made a couple of videos, I think, and I'll try and remember to put the link in the description. So most of these 40 owners couldn't be found for some time. Before the fire, the town hall, the Mairie of Serquigny was trying to find them all so that they could sell their parts, and with the hope that that the chateau would be sold to one person who would actually do something with it. And for years and years this wasn't possible, and then suddenly, after the fire, by some amazing coincidence, they were able to find all the owners. But I suppose that's because this big fire actually hit the news, national news in France. It's a big chateau. It's a very beautiful chateau in the Norman style. So that's bricks and white stone. It's lovely. It has 2 towers. It's approximately an H shape. It has a pigeon tower, lots of intact outer buildings. It's a lovely ensemble. So you can just see that the style of this chateau is similar to ours, and I've just put a couple more examples of chateau in our immediate vicinity, just to show you how similar they are to each other, at least the construction materials, and that this really was the regional style. And when someone told me it had burnt, I almost cried again, because obviously that reminds me of when our house burnt. But anyway, different story. So now they have managed to find all the owners, and hopefully one person or one family will be found to buy it. I don't know what the price is for the house, but it's in a very bad condition now. Not the whole thing didn't burn, but a good part. And obviously, as in all cases when a house burns and the fire brigade comes, the water damage is enormous. So my mother went and did footage, which I'm going to show you now.
So this is one of the gatehouses. And now you can see the fire damage. We're going to have a look inside in a moment. all sorts of decorations on this the back part of the house. Really, it was decorated all over, little bits and pieces. It's interesting that they've got round ends instead of it being a kind of H shape as ours should have been, and heaps of little decorative. So this is the Grand Château of Serquigny, which is noticeably larger than ours, of course, but at one point it belonged to the same person, Pierre Pécu, who supposedly built ours, and then obviously ran out of money because they just spent too much on the both of them. There are a lot of little details which are quite interesting to see. This is a bit of the Charenton, I suppose, which seems to go right and round. And this is one of the entrances to the cellars. Right, so this is one of the salons. With the horrible radiators, of course, which we've managed to avoid. And a parquet. This is the blue salon, which is a bit bigger. Lovely marble chimney with an extraordinary fire back. It's not actually a fire back, it's a complete construction. And this is inside one of the circular wing bits. Things rescued from outside. Gosh, this is a mess. people working hard. Lots and lots of decorative pieces. It's quite amazing. So this is the other side. This looks as though it was stables or something once. I'm not quite sure. I'm going over there in a moment. Apparently there's a pigeon tower over there too. This is from the kind of back. That's the pigeon tower, which you're going to see in a moment. And that was when this was used as a place for handicapped people. We'll have a closer look in a moment. It's very strange that the door doesn't face the chateau, because almost invariably the door to get into the pigeon tower is facing the chateau, so that the owners, the inhabitants, could see if anybody was getting in there, because pigeons were actually very important at that time. Now, as you can see, unfortunately they put windows. There are at least 3 windows, and this is the, I suppose it was stables originally, but it's been completely changed over the years. It's very, very long and useful, but nothing to do with what it was. Just one quick picture of the inside of the what used to be the stable block, but now of course there's absolutely no sign of anything. It's just been changed into a kind of library and something or other. And apparently a lot of chairs and things that were rescued from inside the chateau. Looks familiar. And some bits and pieces of furniture. And they've put a, actually not ugly, sort of semi-spiral staircase going up to the first floor. Well, they had to use the building for something. And some more old furniture, chairs. Cupboards. Not quite sure what that was. With a rail in front. Couldn't have been a kitchen thing made of wood. And this is how they did their insulation, which is hideous. Never mind, effective no doubt. The last view, except that I am going to have a closer look at this tree here, which is absolutely magnificent. It looks as though it might be a ginkgo, but I've got to look closely at the leaves. Yes, it is. It is a magnificent ginkgo. Beautiful in all its glorious autumn colour. I wonder who or what was buried there. Curious. So I've just discovered another part of a driveway or a way that must have been for carriages. I went down there and then turned around at the end. And then came back this way apparently. This place was really completely overgrown. All over the place, sawn off bits of hardly tree stumps, but things that were growing here and have been removed. These guys have got the right equipment. What? Yeah, it's a pretty picture with the reflection in the moat. Actually, I think it's part of the Chateau. It's not really a moat, except that it does seem to go right around the property. Now we are about a kilometre away down the drive. That's what was obviously the walled kitchen garden, what's left of it.
So this amazing association of people, mostly who live around Serquigny, I think, has been created to clear around all the trees and stuff that had basically become completely overgrown because the house was neglected. And they've cleared it away in such a way that you can go and have a look inside the house as it is. It's damp and it looks very sad, but this is to get it well known and make it available to someone who might be interested in buying it. And this is once a month. I don't have the next dates, but if anyone's interested, you can go and have a look at their website on or on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. And my mother went sometime last November, and I'm just waiting for a day when I'll be in France so that I can have a look at it too, snoop around. I'm really interested, but a lot of the intact parts, you can see it's still old. It was basically untouched for years and years and years. So that's it for now for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you around Christmas time. And if you know anyone who has a lot of money and a lot of passion for old houses, let him know about this beautiful chateau, which is in dire need of restoration. See you next time.